What would happen if all insects disappeared overnight? Most people would probably celebrate. No more mosquitoes, no more flies buzzing around food, no more ants invading kitchens, no more cockroaches hiding in dark corners, no more painful stings, no more swarms. For a brief moment, it might feel like an improvement. The world becomes quieter, cleaner, more comfortable. Summer evenings become less irritating. Outdoor activities become easier. Disease-carrying insects vanish. Farmers lose some crop pests. Many people would assume nature simply adjusts. After all, insects are small, individually fragile, easily overlooked. The planet has survived asteroid impacts, ice ages, volcanic winters. Surely it could survive losing a few tiny creatures. But that's not even the most dangerous part. The real danger is that insects are not merely animals. They are infrastructure, living infrastructure. Invisible workers operating inside nearly every ecosystem on Earth. Most people never notice them because they are always there, doing jobs that seem automatic. Jobs that, in reality, are not automatic at all. The disappearance begins at midnight. 1 second they exist, the next second they do not. Every bee, every butterfly, every beetle, every ant, every termite, every dragonfly, every moth, every wasp, every mosquito, every insect species. Gone. At first, almost nothing appears different. Cities wake up normally. Traffic moves. Lights turn on. Coffee brews. Schools open. Markets operate. The machinery of civilization continues. But deep inside forests, grasslands, wetlands, farms, and oceans, countless biological processes suddenly lose their workforce, and those processes begin failing immediately. The first problem is pollination. Roughly 3/4 of flowering plant species rely on animal pollinators. Many of those pollinators are insects. Bees transfer pollen. Butterflies transfer pollen. Moths transfer pollen. Beetles transfer pollen. Without them, reproduction begins breaking down, not instantly, but steadily. Flowers continue blooming. At first, trees continue producing blossoms. At first, fields continue looking normal. At first, but many plants are now creating flowers that will never become seeds. Fruit trees bloom beautifully, yet fewer fruits appear. Wildflowers open, yet future generations never arrive. Nature begins accumulating invisible failures. The second problem arrives beneath the soil, because insects do far more than pollinate. They recycle life itself. When leaves fall, insects break them down. When animals die, insects help return nutrients to the earth. When wood decays, insects accelerate decomposition. Without them, ecosystems lose efficiency. Dead organic matter begins lingering longer than it should. Nutrient cycling slows. Soils gradually become poorer. Forests become less productive. Grasslands become less resilient. The planet's biological engine starts losing momentum. Then comes one of the least appreciated roles insects perform. Food, not for humans, for almost everything else. Birds depend heavily on insects. Many fish depend heavily on insects. Amphibians depend heavily on insects. Reptiles depend heavily on insects. Small mammals depend heavily on insects. Entire food chains suddenly lose their foundation, and hunger begins spreading upward. The first year feels strange. Bird populations begin declining. Nest success drops. Parents struggle to find food. Many chicks never survive. Migratory species suffer first. Then resident species follow. The skies become slightly quieter, not empty, just quieter. Then fish populations begin changing. Streams once rich with aquatic insects become biologically poorer. Many fish species lose critical food sources. Growth slows. Reproduction weakens. Population numbers begin shrinking. Then amphibians suffer. Frogs, toads, salamanders. Species that evolved alongside abundant insect life suddenly find themselves competing for increasingly scarce food. Across the world, ecosystems begin losing complexity. And complexity is what gives nature stability. The more connections an ecosystem possesses, the more resilient it becomes. Remove enough connections, and resilience begins disappearing. Then agriculture starts noticing. At first, farmers compensate. Artificial pollination increases, labor increases, technology increases, costs increase, but agriculture operates on enormous scales. Pollinating a backyard garden is one thing. Pollinating millions of hectares of crops is something else entirely. Many fruits become more expensive. Almonds, apples, blueberries, cherries, cocoa, coffee. Numerous vegetables begin declining as well. Some crops survive through wind pollination, others do not. Global food diversity begins shrinking. Supermarket shelves remain full at first, but choice starts disappearing. One crop after another becomes harder to produce economically. Food becomes less varied, then less abundant, then less reliable. And this is where the damage becomes difficult to ignore, because the crisis begins reaching humans directly. Nutrition changes, prices increase. Agricultural regions face economic stress, rural communities struggle. Food insecurity expands, governments intervene. Scientists race to develop alternatives. Mechanical pollination systems emerge. Artificial ecosystems are constructed. New agricultural methods are tested. But every solution requires energy, money, infrastructure, maintenance. Meanwhile, insects once performed those same tasks for free, every day, across the entire planet. Then the escalation begins. Forests regenerate more slowly. Plant diversity declines. Bird populations collapse further. Fish populations continue shrinking. Predators lose prey. Food webs weaken. Crop yields fall. Food prices rise. Economic pressure spreads. Nations compete for agricultural resources. International trade becomes strained. Conservation efforts intensify. Yet ecosystems continue losing stability. Then diseases begin appearing in unexpected places, not because insects spread them, but because ecosystems are losing balance. Species once controlled naturally begin behaving differently. Certain pests from other groups expand. Fungal outbreaks increase. Plant diseases spread more easily. The absence of insects creates ecological vacancies, and nature rarely leaves vacancies empty. New imbalances emerge. Then decomposition slows further. In some regions, dead plant material accumulates. Nutrient recycling weakens. Soils become increasingly stressed. Plant growth slows. Forests struggle to replace themselves. The biological clockwork of Earth begins missing gears, one by one, year after year. Then the silence arrives, not dramatic silence, not the silence of extinction, the silence of absence. Summer nights feel different, no distant chirping, no buzzing, no fluttering around lights, no invisible movement within tall grass. The soundscape of Earth begins thinning. Many people cannot identify what is missing, only that something feels wrong, something feels incomplete. Then decades pass. Entire generations grow up in a world where insects exist only in books. Children learn about bees the same way modern children learn about mammoths, as creatures from another age. Agriculture becomes increasingly artificial. Controlled pollination becomes standard. Food production grows more expensive. Natural ecosystems continue simplifying. Species dependent on insects disappear. Then species dependent on those species disappear. And then others follow. Not because insects were important to everything, but because they were connected to so many things. The losses spread outward like ripples. Then centuries pass. Forests still exist. Oceans still exist. Grasslands still exist. Life continues, but it is a different Earth, a less diverse Earth, a less efficient Earth, a less resilient Earth. Many ecosystems survive, yet they function with fewer connections, fewer species, fewer safeguards. The planet becomes biologically poorer, not dead, reduced. And perhaps the most unsettling realization is this. For most of human history, insects were considered background life, tiny creatures beneath notice, things to avoid, ignore, swat away. Yet some of the most important systems supporting civilization were quietly resting on their wings. The food we eat, the plants we depend upon, the birds that fill the sky, the forests that stabilize landscapes. the nutrient cycles that keep soil alive. All connected to organisms most people spend their lives trying not to think about, because nature is rarely held together by its largest creatures. It is often held together by its smallest. And if all insects disappeared overnight, humanity would discover that some of the most important pillars of civilization were never made of steel, concrete, or technology. They were made of countless tiny lives, working quietly beneath our notice. If you enjoyed this journey into the hidden systems that keep Earth alive, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Comment what insect you wish would stop existing. Thank you for watching. Stay curious.